Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. Sit down, please. I'd like to speak English today too, to improve my speaking skill. Let's get it started. Today, it is September 2nd, 2023. It's on Saturday and sunny outside. How are you spending Saturday? Do you have a plan for today? Or perhaps do you have a work or school today? I used to take a preliminary class on even Saturdays in preparation for examinations. Or I also used to take preliminary examinations on even Saturdays, which is also was preparation for examinations and entrance examination for universities. Whether or not you have a work or school today depends on your schedule, hinges on your schedule. It's dependent on your schedule. It's all up to your schedule. Have you taken a flight? Have you taken a flight? Have you taken a plane when you traveled? I like the pressure when the planes take off. I like the pressure when the plane takes off. On the other hand, on the contrary, I don't like when the plane is landing. Although I like the plane taking off and I like the pressure, I don't like the plane landing. In Japan, it is customary to take off shoes before stepping into the house. There is a space where we take off our shoes. Do you step into your house with your shoes on in your country or region? Or do you take off shoes before entering the house? Have you ever listened to music looking up at the sky, which made me feel so magnificent? I could enjoy the music deeper. I felt how small I was by looking up at the sky. Changing my clothes after sweating is tough itself, but it often happens in hot summer. I don't want to take off my shoes at home and change my clothes for the latter part of the day. It's tough, tiring. Are you going to take over your family's job? Are you going to take over your family's job? The car taking over the neighboring car with more than beyond the limited speed was stopped by the police officer hiding in the bush. The car trying to take over the neighboring car beyond limited speed was stopped by the police officers hiding in the bush. Are you going to take over your family's business? Are you going to take your family's business over? Are you going to take over your family's business? Are you going to take over your family's business? The son of the current CEO is rumored to take over the position as CEO. The son of the current CEO is rumored to take over the position later next year, as early as next year. The playground of the school was virtually taken over by upper grade students. In order to eradicate this bad system, the teacher took measures so that the playground would be used fairly. The playground was virtually taken over by upper grade students. In order to change this bad system, the teacher took some measures so that the playground would be used fairly above board. Do you know, on the board, the time for the seawater to be filled in the dock was explained. The time for the seawater to be filled in the dock was explained on the board. The time for the seawater to be filled in the dock was explained on the board. It said about 3 hours to fill in the dock. Could you fill out the cup with coffee? Would you like me to fill out the cup with coffee or tea? Tea, please. Would you like me to would you like me to fill the cup in with water or Coca-Cola? Coca-Cola, please. I feel like drinking Coca-Cola now. Okay. Could you fill out the glass with Coke? Could you fill in the glass with water? It will take about 7 minutes to fill out the bathtub. So, in the meantime, I always exercise. I set the timer for 7 minutes, and during 7 minutes, I take exercise in preparation for better shower. It will take about 7 minutes to fill in the hot water into the bathtub. I always set the timer at 7 minutes, and I enjoy my exercise for 7 minutes. Fill out the documents. Fill in the documents. Please fill the documents in. Please fill the documents out. After filling them out, please submit it to the window number 100. Does it exist? No, just joking. Window number 5. The only window number 5 will be equipped with very colorful sign covered with golden leaves, so you won't miss it. The secret. The reason why window number 5 is covered with the sign only of the window number 5 is covered with golden leaf is kept a secret. Which do you use often? Fill in or fill out? Fill that in, fill that out. After filling it out, after filling it in, please turn it in. Please hand it in. Please hand it in to the office on the second floor. Turn it in, hand it in. And fill the documents in, fill the documents in, fill the documents out. And turn it in at window number 3. Hand it in at window number 2. After filling the documents out, please hand them in to the department located on the second floor. Only one department is allocated on the second floor, so you won't miss it. After filling the documents out, after filling the documents out, after filling the documents in, after filling the documents in, after filling out the documents, after filling in the documents, after you fill in the documents, after you fill out the documents, after you fill the documents out, after you fill the documents in, please turn them in. Please turn them in. Please turn them in. Please hand them in. Please hand them in. Please turn them in at the second floor. Being able to get on with something for a long time will be the proof, evidence that you are obsessed with, you are enthusiastic at, you are into. Finding something that you can get on with forever, for a good, eternally, is very important, essential to enjoy your life. Finding something you can be obsessed with, you can be absorbed in, you can be enthusiastic about, you can be into before entering society or entering university is very important. But I know it's very, very difficult. I think many people find the true one they really want to do in their life after entering society. It's okay, I think, unless we find one. Unless we don't find it. Are you getting along with your coworkers? Are you getting on with your husband? Are you getting along with your wife? Are you getting along with your coworkers, colleagues? Are you getting along with the new members in the team? Of the team? Are you getting on with the new members of the team? Can you get on with study for over 8 hours? I think being able to get on with study for more than 8 hours itself will be talent, I think. Being able to study more than 8 hours or 10 hours itself might be talent. Being able to get on with the study for more than 10 hours itself might be talent. Get on with your duty. Get on with your duty. Get on with your duty. If it is a subject or a field I am not interested in, it's super difficult for me to get on with that. So I really pay respect to those who can do their best and get on with the subject they are not interested in at all. Because I cannot do that, as I cannot do that, or I cannot do that. I really pay respect to those who can get on with the duty they don't have the interest in. Get on with your work. Please 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 get on with your story. Everybody is eager to listen to you. Please get on with your next story. Please get on with your next story. Having a rest is not as important than eating vegetables. Working without a break is no more unhealthy than sleeping too much is. I think not many people can get on with one thing forever or for a long time. I think not many people can get on with one thing forever. They will quit at some point in the course. That's why only a handful of people can reach professional levels. I bet not many people can get on with one thing for a long time. That's the reason why only a handful of people can reach professional levels. Can you get on with one thing forever? Finding the true one you can get on with forever is very important, especially before we enter society. It's the best, I think, to work on our passion as our career. And then maybe we can achieve breakthrough in the end. Do you usually wait for the passengers to get off perfectly before you get on the train? or bus or other public transportations. But it can be very messy. Some people don't wait for the passengers to get off the train or other public transportations, but they try to get on if there is a space to enter. I am going to get on with my study. I am going to get on with my passion until I'm healthy. As long as I'm healthy, I am going to get on with my passion, enthusiasm, obsession. As long as my healthy is kept, and as long as I am healthy enough, I am going to get on with my study, passion, enthusiasm, interest, taste, interest. As long as I am healthy, as long as I am healthy, as long as I'm healthy, I will buy you a piece of chocolate, a box of chocolate, as long as you achieve your goal. I want you to get on with your current job. Many people will expect you to get on with your current salaried jobs because most of them don't want to run a risk, take a risk. Most people will expect you to get on with your current salaried jobs because they don't want you to run a risk, take a risk, especially big risk. Most people, especially your family, will not expect you to take a big risk, run a big risk by quitting your current salaried jobs. I think most people around you, especially your family, will expect you to get on with your current jobs, current salaried jobs. They wouldn't like you to take a big risk, run a big risk by quitting. Please get on with your story until it gets to a good point where you can stop. Please get on with your duty until I stop. Can you get on with study for more than 8 hours? Can you get on with your study for more than 8 hours? Can you get on with your work for more than 8 hours? When it comes to the field or subject I am not interested in, it's super difficult for me to get on with that. It's super difficult for me to get on with that. It's super difficult for me to get on with that. Have you paid a visit to Mount Fuji? Have you paid a visit to Hokkaido? Have you paid a visit to Okinawa? Have you paid a visit to Japan? I think for many people, paying a visit to Japan will be their dreams. I think for many people, paying a visit to Hawaii will be their dreams. Are you dreaming of paying a visit to Hawaii? Are you dreaming of paying a visit to Hawaii? Are you dreaming of paying a visit to Hawaii? I pay respect to those who can do their best at what they are not interested in. Everybody showed respect to the CEO coming from a business trip. After lunch, it's super difficult to pay attention to the lecture. Do you wait for the passengers to get out of the train before you get on? Are you this kind of person who waits for the passengers to get out of the train before you get on? Or you try to get on even while the passengers are getting out of the train, if there is a space. If there is space. The staff of the shop told the customers to get out with rude attitude. The rude customer was ordered to get out of the shop for doing damage to other customers, merchandise, and so on. The customer was ordered to get out of the shop for doing nuisances, 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 nuisances. We are ordered to get out of the office by the time 5 o'clock p.m. in preparation for typhoon. Is your department comfortable to work in? My department doesn't have the policy to get out of our office by 5 o'clock p.m. and so on. But getting out of our office by the limited time might be a good idea to decrease overworking and so on. Get out here, get out here, get out here. You are not allowed to enter here. Get out here. You are not permitted to enter here. You are not permitted entering here. You are not permitted to enter here. Get out here. As soon as the game finished, the view audiences started to get out. As soon as the game finished, the audiences began to get out of the arena. As soon as the game finished, the audiences started to get out. I feel like going out for a walk with my dog. I feel like going out with my pet dog. I feel like going out with my pet dog. To fans' surprise and luck, they came across the idol getting out of the rear door. To fans' surprise and happiness, they ran into the idol getting out of the rear door. The fans are waiting for the idol to get out of the rear door. They are standby. The fans are waiting for the idol to get out from the rear door. The fans are waiting for the timing when the idol gets out of the rear door. I feel like going out when it is rain with my pet dog, with umbrella on. I feel like going out sometimes even when it is raining. Not many people will feel like going out during typhoon or heavy rain or wind. How soon can you make out documents? Do the documents seem to be ready by the deadline? Do the documents seem to be ready by the deadline? Do the documents seem to be made out by the deadline? Do the documents seem to be made out by the deadline? Do the documents seem to be made ready by the deadline? Do the documents seem to be made ready by the deadline? Do the documents seem to be made out by the deadline? How soon can you make out documents needed for the meeting? How soon can you make out the prototype of the building? How soon can you make out the prototype of the car needed for the important meeting with allies? It usually takes twice or three times longer for me to make out what other people say, or the explanations written on the textbook. It usually takes twice or three times longer for me to make out, apprehend, comprehend, understand, figure out, find out the explanations written in the manual or textbook. Because my brain works very slow. I have to improve that with more training. Make out. Although I try to make out what the professor was explaining on the board, I couldn't, so I asked my genius friend for help. He gave me better, more concise explanation. Thanks to that, I now got it. I've got it now. Without his concise explanation, I still don't understand it. I still couldn't understand it now. If it had not been for his concise explanation, I couldn't still understand yet. Do you know how much effort, sacrifices were made until we made out the prototype? You destroyed it in one day. How are you going to pay for the cost? How are you going to cope with that? How are you going to deal with that? How are you going to compensate for that? Make up for that? Many hours, much time, money, effort were devoted to make out the prototype. Much money, budget, effort, time, and other things were devoted dedicated to make out the product, flagship model of the product. There were many stories until we achieved the goal, until we released the products. Making out a document needed for the meeting, making out a document, making out documents, making out the reason why 1 plus 1 creates 2 seems to be understood by only a handful of people in the world. The reason why 1 plus 1 creates 2 seems to be understood, comprehended, apprehended, figured out, made out by only a handful of people in the world, according to my mathematics teacher, because it has deeper meaning. It seems to have deeper meaning, more than just 1 plus 1 create 2. I usually make others angry by taking much time to understand, to make out what they say. I usually make others angry by taking a lot of time to make out what they say. How can I make out contents faster, quicker? How can I make out the explanations made by others quickly, as quickly as you? How can I make out the contents, explanations, directions, or other things as quickly as you? I was asked how soon I could make out documents needed for the meeting. I was asked from my boss how soon I could make out the documents. It is often said that everything will work out in the end. They say everything will be fine, everything will work out in the end. It's often said that everything will work out in the end. Ultimately, finally, at the end, in the end. How often do you work out? Oh, I would ask my doctor how often I should work out in a week for keeping my health. Keeping me healthy, leaving me healthy. Stay healthy. Remain healthy. Keep healthy. I will ask my doctor when I go to see a doctor next time about how often I should have workout. How soon? How often I should work out. How often do you work out? Maybe your commute by bicycle from to and from the workplace will be workout already. So maybe you don't have to work out. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you should ask your doctor. Your commute by bicycle from to your workplace will be itself workout. So I think you don't have to work out as hard as I do. Or maybe you don't have to work out at all. Maybe you should ask your doctor. He believed that honesty will work out in the end. I hope that my way of living will work out in the end, in the near future, as early as tomorrow. I hope that the project will work out in the future, in the end. I hope that all of the products I'm selling online will work out, will be sold out correctly with my expecting prices. Work out, work out, work out. Not everything will work out. I hope your business will work out. I hope your business will work out. I hope that your business will work out. I hope my skill obtained from the university will work out at the new environment of the company. I hope the skills and knowledge and some experiences from other fields will work out at the next environment of the company, of a company. I hope that my experiences in other fields and the skills and knowledge obtained from those will work out at a new environment of a company. Work out, work out. I hope your business will work out. I hope your business will work out. I was told not to look it up every time I face the words I don't know. I was told to guess from the context first. I was told not to look the vocabularies up whenever I face the word I don't know in the dictionary. But first, I was advised to guess from the context. I used to look the vocabularies I don't know up. I used to look up the vocabularies I don't know every time I face in the dictionary. But I don't do that now. Sometimes I can understand, I can make out, comprehend, figure out the meaning by reading the context, by guessing the meaning from the context. I used to look up the meaning of the vocabularies I don't know in the dictionary, but I don't have to do that thanks to the development of technology. So I feel nostalgic by looking back on those days. I feel nostalgic when I look back on those days when I used to look up the meaning of vocabularies I don't know in dictionary. I feel nostalgic when I look back on those days when I would often look up the meanings of vocabularies in dictionary. I don't do that now, although I still have a dictionary. I look up the meaning of the vocabularies I don't know through the internet, or through the internet. It's much faster. But there was also a good side of looking up the meaning of dictionaries, meaning of the vocabularies in dictionary. The burden of looking up the meaning of vocabularies in dictionary itself helped me to memorize the meaning of the vocabularies better, thanks to the burden. Have you looked up the meaning of vocabularies in dictionary? I cannot look back on my adolescence without getting depressed. My adolescence is filled with depression, sickness, illness, ailment, and so on. So I'd like to hit a grand slam home run at some point in my life, as early as tomorrow. So I'd like to hit a grand slam home run in my life at some point, as early as possible. If it is possible, I'd like to earn enough money with YouTube videos. I really hope so. It's the best to earn money with my passion, studying English, and so on. Some people cannot look back once they start something. Some people cannot look back once they start. Maybe it is the true one they are obsessed with, they are enthusiastic about. The thing that you cannot stop once you start, maybe the true one you are really into, you are enthusiastic, you are obsessed with, you are absorbed in. I regret being absorbed in playing video games. I really regret being absorbed in playing video games, which deprived me of precious time to study and so on. Once you start, don't look back until you achieve your goal. Once you start, don't look back until you achieve your goal, until you accomplish your goal, okay? Once you start, don't look back until you accomplish your goal, until you reach the goal, until you reach the goal. We sometimes enjoy the conversation looking back on our past, adolescence, old times, and so on. I cannot look back on my adolescence without getting depressed. I cannot look back on my adolescence without getting depressed. Can it be said to you too? Can it be said to you too? I cannot look back on my adolescence without getting depressed. Some people cannot look back once they start. Some people never look back once they start until they achieve it, until they accomplish it. I felt something going on my shoulder, but when I looked back over my shoulder, there was nothing. I felt someone walking behind me, but when I looked back over my shoulder, there was no one. It must have been a ghost. I felt someone walking behind me, but when I looked back, there was no one. It must have been a ghost. I heard stepping sound behind me, and when I looked back, there was a puppy following me. Such a cute. Although I left 5 minutes later than my friends, I caught up with them. Because I told them to walk slowly, because I would catch up them later. That's why. And I walked fast to catch up with them. Although I left the school 5 minutes later, I caught up with my friends because I told them to walk slowly because I would catch up with them later. That's why. Walk on. Walk on. Never look back. Walk on. Walk on your dream. Walk on your dream. Once you have decided, don't look back. Keep walking on. Walk on. Keep walking 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 on. Walk on. We must be obliged to keep walking on until we find something we are really interested in. Maybe we are forced to keep walking on until we find the true one we really wanna do in our life. The society we catch on with a company might end soon. Do you catch on with a company, or are you a self-employed? Do you catch on with a company, or are you a freelancer or part-timer? Do you catch on with a company, or are you a freelancer? Which do you prefer? Catching on with a company or becoming a freelancer? Does a video game catch on with your group, community, friends? Does a hairstyle catch on with your friends? Does a hairstyle catch on? Is the hairstyle in your community? Does a hairstyle and fashion catch on with your friends? Does a fashion catch on with your friends? Does adding exclamation marks a lot at the end of the sentence catch on with your friends? And does adding a lot of exclamation marks at the end of the sentence catch on with your friends? If you don't want to catch on with a company, what do you want to do for a living? If you don't want to catch on with a company, do you want to do for a living? Owning a company or becoming a freelancer, or do you have a good idea? But many people will catch on with a company. Many people will catch on with a company. Many people are catching on with a company. Relying on a company heavily will be risky in the future, in the near future, I think. Now we have to be trained enough to be able to live without the help of company in the future, because more and more jobs are predicted to be replaced by AI, robots, and so on. So we have to create new jobs ourselves, not relying on a company heavily. Mm. Mm. Does the hairstyle catch on with your friends? Does the hairstyle catch on with your school? Does the hairstyle catch on with teenagers? Does the hairstyle catch on with the teenagers? Does the bag catch on with teenagers? Does the shoulder bag catch on with high school students? Does the loose shoulder bag catch on with high school students? Does the loose way of wearing the shoulder bag catch on with high school students? Does the way of wearing the shoulder bag catch on with high school students? Does the loose way of wearing the shoulder bag catch on with high school students? Does the hairstyle catch on with the high school students? Does the hairstyle catch on with high school students? Does the hairstyle catch on with high school students? If you don't want to catch on with a company, what would you do for a living? Becoming a freelancer or owning a company? Embark on establishing a company, starting your business, or what do you want to do? And catching on with a company with aggressive boss is the last thing that we do. Catching on with a company with evil boss, evil CEO will be the last thing that we do. Catching on with evil employer will be the last thing that we do. Does the hairstyle catch on with high school students? Does the way of wearing the shoulder bag so loosely catch on with high school students? Does the hairstyle catch on with teenagers? Let's take a look at the details of why the fire happened. Uh, Taking the past Alson, for example. Let's take a look at inside. Let's take a look at inside. Take a look inside the guest house before you decide. Please feel free to take inside of the guest house before you decide whether to stay in with us. Don't hesitate to ask us for discounts. We are happy to discount the price for you. We are more than happy to discount the price for you, lovely customers. What I was surprised at my foreign trip was that a stranger told me to keep an eye on her belongings while she was at toilet. Although we didn't know each other, we just met at the train station for the first time. But she told me, is it normal? Have a look at the plant. Have a look at the surface of the remote controller. Have a look at the picture more carefully. Have a careful look at the picture. Have a careful look at the picture. Have a careful look at the picture. Take a careful look at the picture. Take a careful look at the picture. Have a careful look at the picture. Pay attention to the lecture. I often find it difficult to pay attention to the lecture after eating lunch. I find it super difficult to pay careful attention to the lecture after eating lunch because I often eat lunch too much. We should restrain the amount of lunch because if we eat a lot of lunch, it will decrease our motivation, concentration level, and so on because the food digestion will use a lot of our energy, which makes us sleepy. Please have a closer look at the scenery around you when you drive your car, especially in narrow spaces. Please have a closer look at around you when you park your car to make sure that there are no ones around your car. To make certain that there are no ones around your car. When you park your car, please make sure that there are no ones around your car. So please have a close look at the scenery, view, 360 degrees, thoroughly, drastically, inside out. When you park your car, please make sure that there are no ones around your car. So please have a closer look around your car. Please have a closer look around your car. Please have a look. Please have a look. Please take a closer look around your car. Please have a closer look around your car to make sure that there are no ones around you. Please take a closer look around your car when you park your car to make sure that there are no ones around you. Since my car was sounding strangely, so I took it in to the car repair shop. There was something wrong with the engine. Some people are sometimes very kind, strangely. It's no wonder she was so kind today, strangely. 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 It was so calm and silent, strangely, before the event happened. It was so silent before the event happened. When I was browsing the internet, I came across an online shop where everything was sold so cheap, strangely. And later I realized it was a fraudulent company. It's very important to gather information before making a purchase. While I was browsing the internet, I ran into a shopping site where everything was sold very cheap prices. And later I realized it was scamming. So I realized that it is very important to gather information before making the purchase. Strangely, 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 strangely. 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 The atmosphere outside looked strangely dark. And some people are strangely sweet and kind sometimes. occasionally. There were employees who were strangely kind just before the closing time of the shift. There were some employees who were strangely kind and fine few minutes before the closing time of the shift. Strangely. The wind started to be strong strangely. Crowds started to gather strangely in one place on the electrical cable. Strangely. Strangely. Many fish died strangely in the aquarium. My car was emitting strange sound strangely, so I took it to the car repair shop. A strangeness sometimes happen. Strangeness that I meet someone who have already passed away. Strangeness. The strangeness of getting into two accidents at once. Strangeness that getting into two accidents at once. Strangeness. Strangeness. Strangeness that someone who was not in the place captured in the camera. Strangeness that the person who was not there was captured in the camera. Strangeness that the person who was not there was captured in the camera. Strangeness that the person who was not there was captured in the camera, in the picture. There are a lot of causes causing me itchiness. Stress one of the causes causing me itchiness. Dust is one of the causes causing me itchiness. Dust causes me itchiness. Stress causes me itchiness. Stress causes me itchiness. Stress causes me itchiness. Certain kinds of food causes me itchiness. Certain kinds of food cause me itchiness. The typhoon might cause the region flooding. The typhoon might cause the region to be flooded. The typhoon might cause the region flooding. The typhoon might cause the region flooding. The typhoon might cause the region flooding. Natural disasters might cause the region a lot of cost. Typhoon can cause the region a lot of disasters, including landsliding, flooding, and so on. Typhoon can cause the particular regions a lot of disasters, including landsliding, flooding, power outages, and so on. A lack of study in my childhood caused me a lot of hardships after entering the society. A lack of study caused me a lot of study after entering the university. The flooding caused many residents in the region to be stranded at home without power. The flooding caused by the typhoon caused many residents in the region to be stranded at home. The plunge of the stock prices caused many investors a lot of loss, much loss. The sudden plunge of the stock prices caused many investors losses. The sudden plunge of the stock prices caused many investors much losses. Stress causes me itchiness. 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 Stress causes me to have itchiness. Stress causes me to have itchiness. Stress causes me to have itchiness. The typhoon caused the region to be flooded. Some particular food. A particular food causes me itchiness. Stress 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 causes me itchiness. Some food causes me itchiness. The typhoon caused the region, flooding, power outages, landsliding, and so on. The typhoon caused the region disasters. The typhoon caused the region disasters. The typhoon caused the region disasters. The typhoon is expected to cause the region a lot of disasters. Do you think it's ridiculous to approach the coastline when typhoon is approaching? Do you think it's rude to eat ramen with sound? It was not until I arrived at the university that I realized it was closed for holidays, national holidays. It was until I got to the university I realized that it was closed for national holiday. I really appreciate your help. If it had not been for your help, I could not have done it. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate your support. I really appreciate your support. I really thank you for everlasting support and help. I cannot thank you too much. I cannot thank you too much. I cannot thank you enough. I really appreciate your help, support, heartfelt help and support, everlasting support and help. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate your support and help. I really appreciate your strong support and help. I really appreciate your 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 support and help. I really thank you. I'd like to thank all of the supporters. I'd like to thank all of the people who supported me. I'd like to thank all of related people who have supported me ever. I'd like to thank all of the people who have supported me. I'd like to thank all of the people who have supported me ever. I'd like to thank all of the people for supporting me. I'd like to thank all of the related people for supporting me for a long time. I'd like to thank all of the related people for supporting me. Due to the typhoon, many passengers were obliged to stay in the train station because all of the trains have been were suspended until it passed. The passengers of the train were compelled to stay in the train station until the typhoon passed. The passengers of the train were compelled to stay in the train station, were obliged to stay in the train station for safety reasons, as the typhoon was passing the region. All of the car drivers are obliged to wear seatbelt for safety. The government obliges all of the car drivers to fasten seatbelt for safety. The government obliges all of the car drivers to wear fasten seatbelt. The government obliges all of the car drivers to fasten a seatbelt for safety. My parents often obliged me to study until I could understand the certain chapter. a certain contents explained in a chapter. Having a pet might be a good idea if you want to be forced to work outside. If you want to be compelled to work out. If you are obliged to go out. Having a pet might be a good idea if you want to be forced to work outside. If you want to be compelled to work out outside. If you want to be obliged to go out with a pet cat, a pet dog. If you want to be obliged to go out, if you want to be obliged to go out, if you want to be compelled to go out, if you want to be forced to go out, if you want to be forced to go out, if you want to be compelled to go out, if you want to be obliged to go out. The government obliged all of the car drivers to fasten a seatbelt for safety. The company obliges all of the employees to wear the uniform. The company obliges all of the employees to cut their hair short. The company obliges all of the employees to wear the uniform. The company obliges all of the employees to wear uniform. The company obliges all of the employees to wear a uniform. The company obliges all of the employees to wear a uniform. The company obliges all of the employees to wear a uniform. The company obliges all of the employees to wear a uniform. The company obliges all of the employees to wear a uniform. The school obliges all of the students to wear a uniform. No other uniforms are allowed. Clothes are allowed. The school obliges all of the students to wear the uniform. No other clothes are available, admitted, permitted, allowed. The school obliges all of the students wear the uniform. No other clothes are available, allowed, permitted. The school obliges all of the students wear the uniform. No other clothes are allowed. The school obliges all of the students wear the uniform. Do you mind if I open the window? Do you mind if I open the window? Do you mind if I turn up the air conditioner? Do you mind if I turn up the volume of the radio? Do you mind if I turned up the air conditioner because I'm feeling so hot just after coming back outside? Would you mind if I turn up the air conditioner? Would you mind if I turned up the air conditioner? Do you mind me turning up the air conditioner? Do you mind me turning up the air conditioner? Would you mind me turning up the air conditioner? Would you mind my turning up the air conditioner? Would you mind me turning up the air conditioner? Would you mind my turning up the air conditioner because I'm feeling so hot just after coming back from outside? Would you mind my opening the windows? Would you mind my turning up the air conditioner? Would you mind my turning up the air conditioner? Do you mind if I turn up the air conditioner? Would you mind if I turn up the air conditioner? No, not at all. No, not at all. Be my guest. 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 Don't hesitate. Not at all. Why not? Do you mind if I drop in on you? Drop in on you today. Do you mind if I sit next to you on the train? Excuse me, do you mind my sitting next to you? Excuse me, would you mind my sitting next to you? Because there, I couldn't find another seat available. Sure. Not at all. Be my guest. Excuse me, would you mind if I sit next to you? Do you mind if I sit next to you? Because there were no available seats available. Available seats. Excuse me, would you mind my sitting next to you? Excuse me, would you mind me sitting next to you? Would you mind my sitting next to you? Do you mind my sitting next to you? Would you mind me sitting next to you? Would you mind my friend participating in the game instead on behalf of me? Do you mind if my friend participates in the party on behalf of me? Excuse me, do you mind if I use your com? Do you mind if I use your com? Do you mind if I use your com? Would you mind if I use your com? Would you mind if I used your com? Do you mind my using your com? Do you mind me using your com? Would you mind me using your com? Would you mind my using your com? No, not at all. No, not at all. Be my guest. No, not at all. No, not at all. 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 Be my guest. 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 How often do you stop by a convenience store? How often do you drop by convenience store? How often do you drop in at a convenience store on your way to workplace or home? On your way home on your way home or on your way to workplace? How often do you stop by a convenience store? How often do you drop by a convenience store? How often do you drop in at a convenience store on your way home or on your way to school or on your way to a workplace? On your way to workplace. On your way to workplace. Would you mind my using your con? Not at all, not at all, not at all. Be my guest. 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 The refugees were seen clinging to the rope extended from the helicopter. Hold on to the rope and do not release it. Hold on to the rope and do not lose your grip. Do not lose your grip. Do not lose your grip. Let's compete with which of us can clinging onto the bar longer. Let's compete with which of us can holding onto the bar longer. The one who can hanging onto the bar longer will be the winner and can get a piece of cake. Let's compete with which of us can holding onto the bar longer, hanging onto the bar longer. Holding onto the bar, hanging onto the bar, hanging onto the bar, hanging onto the bar, hold onto the bar, holding onto the bar, holding onto, clinging onto the bar, clinging onto the bar, clinging onto the bar, holding onto the bar, holding onto the bar, holding onto the bar, hanging onto the bar, hanging onto the bar, hanging onto the bar, holding onto the bar, holding onto the bar, holding onto the bar, holding onto the bar, hanging onto the bar, hanging onto the bar, hanging onto the bar, clinging onto the bar, clinging onto the bar, clinging onto the bar. Some animals are good at holding onto the bar longer time, with little power. How long can you holding onto the bar? Let's compete with which of us can holding onto the bar longer. Let's compete with which of us can hanging onto the bar longer. Clinging onto the bar longer. Please hold on. I'm almost ready. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a second. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I'm already. I'm almost ready. I'm almost ready. There is a famous phrase from the actor, I'll be back, I'll be back. There is a famous phrase by the actor, I'll be back, I'll be back. There is a famous expression, phrase, line from the actor, I'll be back. And soon after I realized it was the scamming, I hung up on the scammers. Soon after I realized it was the scamming call. I hung up on the scammers. I hung up. I hung up. And soon after I realized it was a scamming call, I hung up. I hung up on the scammer. It was waste of time to having a conversation with a scammer. Soon after I realized it was a scamming call, I hung up on the scammers. It was a waste of time to having a conversation with the scammer. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I'm almost ready. I am almost ready. I am almost ready. I am almost ready. I am almost ready. Hold on. Hold on. Wait a second. Wait a minute. Wait a moment. Hold the line. One moment. 1 second. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a moment. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a second. 1 second. Wait a moment. Hold on. 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 I'm almost ready. I'm almost ready. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I will be right back. I will be right back. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Wait a second. Wait a minute. Wait a moment. Hold on. 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 Hold on. Hold on. Wait a moment. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Wait a moment. Hold on. Wait a moment. Hold on. Wait a moment. Excuse me, hold on. I'll be right back. Or I will get back to you later. Just hang up. Or just hang up. I will get back to you later. I will call you later. Hold on. Please hang up now. I will call you back later. I will call you back. Is it rude to hang up on the other end of the phone first? Is it rude to hang up on the person from this side? Is it rude to hang up on the person from this side? Some people hang up on the person although the speaker is still speaking. Some person hang up on the person even while they are still speaking. Some people hang up on some people hang up on the person even while they are still speaking. Some people hang up on the person even while he or she is still speaking. Is it regarded as rude to hang up on the person from this side? I sometimes, by mistake, hang up on the person even while he or she is still speaking. I sometimes by mistake hang up on the person, even while he or she is still speaking. My friend used to put me up at their houses, and we used to play video games until late at night. It was such a fun. I sometimes put my friends up at my house and played video games late at night, which was so fun. I sometimes look back on such good days. Would you mind helping me put up the tents? Would you mind helping me? Would you mind helping me to put up the tent? Would you mind helping me put up the tent? Would you mind helping me put up the tent? Could you help me put up the tent? Would you mind helping me to assemble the ladder? Would you mind helping me to set up the tent? Would you mind helping me set up the tables for the night shift of the restaurant? I wish my house was big enough to be able to put you up. I wish my house were big enough to be able to put you up. My house cannot afford to put 100 people up. Sorry, I can't put you up today. I don't wanna you to see my family. I wouldn't like you to see my family. They are crazy. I cannot put you up at my house, sorry, because I don't want you to see my family. I wouldn't like you to see my family. I wouldn't like you to see my family. Sorry, I cannot put you up at my house. I wouldn't like you to see my family. I wouldn't like you to see my family. I don't want you to see my family. For one thing, I wouldn't like you to see my family. For one thing, I don't want you to see my family. I prefer to stay at home than to participate in the party. For one thing, I am not good at being in a group. I'm super shy. I might as well study at home as take part in the party. For one thing, I don't like to socialize. For one thing, I don't like to socialize with people. I'd rather study at home than participate in the party. For one thing, I don't like to socialize. I don't like to socialize. On the other hand, my relative preferred to participate in the party than study at home because he easy to feel lonely alone. Our CEO never drops in on our office. Drop in at our office, branch office. I'm sorry. Although it is on short notice, may I drop in on you tonight because there's a word I'd like to have a word privately with you because for one thing I have a word. I'd like to have a word. I'd like to have a word with you privately. I'd like to have a word privately with you. May I drop in on you tonight as I have a word. I'd like to have a word privately with you. May I drop in on you? May I call on you? May I call on you tonight? Because I'd like to have a word privately with you. May I call on you? May I drop in on you? May I drop in on you? May I drop in on you tonight? Because I'd like to have a word privately with you. May I drop in on you tonight? Because I'd like to have a word with you privately tonight. I really respect the security girl standing still on the sidewalk for security, even during the heavy snowstorms. I really pay respect to the security guards standing still on the sidewalk or everywhere for safety, for our safety. I really pay respect to those security guards standing still everywhere, even in cold winter and hot summer. Can you study still for over 10 hours? Can you sit still in the waiting room? No, I can't. I was not good at sitting still in the classroom, so it was like a prison for me. It was like a punishment for me. I was not good at sitting still in the class when I was a kid, so taking the class was like a torture for me, punishment for me. I was bad at sitting still in a classroom when I was a kid, so listening to the lecture in the classroom was a kind of torture for me, punishment for me. My mother is good at lying still on the sofa. My mother is good at lying still on the sofa for many hours. I am not good at sitting still on the chair to wait for something. Because I didn't want to kill my precious time, I brought some books to read while I was waiting for my turn to come. I was sitting still on the chair until my turn came, until my name was called. I told my mother to pace back and forth through the shopping arcade while I was taking the examination until I finished taking the examination for her exercise. It worked well because thanks to the roof, um, she could escape from the rain. Perfect condition to walk. I was pacing around the examination venue before the door opened with nervousness. I tend to arrive at the destination much earlier with nervousness. So there was about 30 minutes until the open of the venue. So I was pacing around the venue to kill the time. And keeping pace with new technologies can be difficult. Are you trying to keep pace with new technologies? Keeping pace with the professional runner was almost impossible, but I tried. I sometimes find a professional runner running along the road, and I sometimes try to keep pace with him or her, but I found it impossible. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I know some neighbors pacing back and forth the same distance for his exercise and health. I know relatives, I know neighbors pacing the same distance back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I told my mother to pace through the shopping arcade back and forth until I finished taking the examination. Sidewalk, 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 sidewalk aligned with pine trees. Sidewalk lined with beautiful flowers. Beautiful sidewalks lined with beautiful hydrangeas. I told my mother to pace back and forth through the shopping arcade until I finished taking the examination. I told my mother to pace through the shopping arcade back and forth, back and forth. I heard a story of my teacher who carried things back and forth between the train station and the new apartment. I heard a story of my teacher who carried things to the new apartment for the moving. I heard the story of my teacher who carried things from house to the new apartment back and forth. I heard the story of my teacher who carried things from the house to the new apartment back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay, I will finish speaking here. Thank you for watching. See you next time. See you!